What if I told you that hidden beneath the sands of Iraq lies the story of humanity itself? A story so old, so rich, and so complex that it shaped the world as we know it today. From the dawn of civilization in Mesopotamia to the modern-day struggles, Iraq has always been at the heart of global history. But what exactly happened in this ancient land to give it such a profound legacy? And why does Iraq remain so pivotal in world affairs today? Join us as we unravel the mysterious, intriguing, and often tumultuous history of Iraq, a land where gods were born, empires rose and fell, and where human civilization first took root. Chapter 1. Mesopotamia. To understand Iraq, we must travel back in time, way back to over 10,000 years ago, when the seeds of human civilization were first sown. Mesopotamia, often referred to as the cradle of civilization, is located largely within the borders of modern-day Iraq. But why is it called the cradle of civilization? What happened here that changed the course of human history forever? The answer lies in geography. Mesopotamia, which means the land between rivers in ancient Greek, was uniquely positioned. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers flooded regularly, providing fertile soil perfect for agriculture. As humans transitioned from hunter-gatherer lifestyles to settled farming communities, the region became a hotspot for innovation and growth. By 600 BC, the Neolithic Abade period saw the emergence of the first recognizable societies. The Sumerians were the most notable among these early peoples. They didn't just farm the land, they built the first cities, places like Uruk and Eridu. And with cities came monumental change. Humans now had the time to focus on other aspects of life, like art, religion, and governance. The Sumerians were ahead of their time. Not only did they invent the wheel, but they also gave us the earliest form of writing, cuneiform. Imagine that. You could say the Sumerians were the original tech innovators of the ancient world. The first code of laws, the first schools, and even the first libraries came from this ancient society. Urbanization was in full swing. Sumer became a land of city-states, each one vying for power, each one innovating in its own way. These city-states were self-governed and built monumental ziggurats, towering temples that dominated their skylines. But with great progress came competition and eventually conflict. This set the stage for one of history's most powerful empires, the Acadians. Chapter 2. Empires Rise. In the 24th century BC, the world saw the rise of the first empire in history. Sargon of Akkad, a name that would be remembered for millennia, unified the warring city-states of Mesopotamia under his rule. The Akkadian Empire stretched across much of modern Iraq and beyond, and with it came a new era of centralized governance. Sargon was more than just a conqueror, he was a visionary. His empire didn't just focus on warfare, it thrived on trade, culture, and innovation. It's said that the Akkadian Empire's reach extended from the Persian Gulf all the way to the Mediterranean. But empires rise and they fall. By the 22nd century BC, the Akkadian Empire crumbled under the weight of invasions and internal strife. Yet, from its ashes rose another mighty force, the Babylonians. The Babylonians were not just famous for their military might. They're most remembered for Hammurabi, the king who gave us one of the earliest and most complete law codes. The Code of Hammurabi is a testament to the Babylonians' sophisticated system of justice, with laws inscribed on a stone stele for all to see. Can you imagine a society thousands of years ago with such an advanced legal framework? Babylon also became famous for one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Hanging Gardens. Though historians debate their existence, the image of these magnificent terraces filled with lush greenery in the middle of the desert has captivated imaginations for centuries. But the Babylonians didn't hold on to power forever. Soon, the Assyrians would rise, forging an empire that would dominate the Near East for centuries. Chapter 3. Assyrians. If the Babylonians were known for their culture and legal advancements, the Assyrians were known for their unparalleled military might. By the 14th century BC, the Assyrians were on the rise, and they would remain a dominant force for over 1,000 years. Their empire spanned not only Iraq but much of the ancient Near East, including Egypt, Anatolia, and Persia. The Assyrians were a force to be reckoned with. They were brilliant strategists and ruthless conquerors, but they were also builders and administrators. Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire, was a sprawling metropolis. It housed libraries, palaces, and temples, reflecting the wealth and power of the empire. Their downfall came suddenly. In 612 BC, a coalition of enemies, including the Babylonians and Medes, sacked Nineveh. The Assyrian Empire, which had stood tall for centuries, collapsed almost overnight. From the rubble, the Neo-Babylonian Empire rose once more. It's fascinating how quickly empires can rise and fall. One moment, you're on top of the world, and the next, you're lost to history. Chapter 4: Foreign Conquests. In 539 BC, the Neo-Babylonian Empire met its end at the hands of the Persians. Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, marched into Babylon and declared himself King of Babylon. The city, which had once been the center of the world, became one of the key capitals of the vast Persian Empire. Under Persian rule, Babylon flourished once again, but its days as an independent power were over. Over the centuries, Iraq would fall under the rule of various empires. First the Greeks, following Alexander the Great's conquest, then the Parthians and Romans. Each left their mark on the land, creating a cultural mosaic. But the most transformative period in Iraq's history was yet to come. In the 7th century, Arab armies swept through Mesopotamia, bringing with them a new religion, Islam. This was a turning point. The Arab conquest didn't just change Iraq politically, it altered the very fabric of its society. Cities like Kufa and Basra were founded, and Iraq became a center of Islamic learning and culture. Chapter 5: The Islamic Golden Age. The 8th century saw the rise of one of the greatest cities in human history, Baghdad. Founded by the Abbasid Caliphate in 762 AD, Baghdad quickly became the intellectual and cultural hub of the Islamic world. It was here, during the Islamic Golden Age, that some of the most important advances in science, philosophy, medicine, and mathematics were made. Baghdad wasn't just a city, it was the beating heart of a global empire. Scholars from all over the world came to study and share knowledge in its libraries. The House of Wisdom, as it was known, was a place where the greatest minds gathered. From algebra to astronomy, so much of what we know today was developed during this time. But even the greatest cities are not immune to destruction. In 1258, the Mongol invasion led by Hulagu Khan brought Baghdad to its knees. The city was sacked, its libraries burned, and its people slaughtered. This marked the end of the Islamic Golden Age. Chapter 6: Ottoman Rule. For centuries, Iraq remained under Ottoman rule. From the 16th century until the early 20th century, Iraq was a province of the vast Ottoman Empire. The fall of the Ottomans after World War I marked the beginning of modern Iraq's turbulent journey. In 1920, Iraq came under British control, and by 1932, it gained independence as the Kingdom of Iraq. However, the 20th century was far from peaceful. Coups, dictatorships, and conflicts marred Iraq's history, most notably under the rule of Saddam Hussein. Saddam's regime, which lasted from 1979 to 2003, was marked by brutal repression, wars, and international isolation. The 2003 US-led invasion of Iraq toppled Saddam, but it also plunged the country into chaos, leading to years of insurgency, sectarian violence, and the rise of extremist groups like ISIS. Chapter 7: Iraq Today. Today, Iraq is a nation rebuilding. It faces immense challenges: political corruption, sectarian conflicts, and the ongoing effects of climate change. Yet, despite these challenges, the Iraqi people remain resilient. From the ancient ruins of Babylon to the modern streets of Baghdad, Iraq is a land where history is alive. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating tales from history. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the fascinating history of Iraq, grab a copy of our detailed book version, link in the description. Packed with rich insights and captivating stories, it's a must-read for history enthusiasts. Thanks for watching. What part of Iraq's history fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments below.